I love that. Oh my God. Okay. uh uh what's crack-a-lacking? Welcome to the Michael Jackson show. Yo, I know it probably sounds like it's loud as shit in here. That's because your man has the fan on. It's been getting too hot in here, bro. As we transition from a janky ass winter into the summer, I'm gonna be in here in way less clothes, aka just a tank top. I didn't mean I was gonna be naked or no nasty shit like that. But I'm gonna have to have the fan on because my big ass will start sweating. And I'm not trying to be in here with like pit stains and the shit. I'm not trying to do all that. So thank you for tuning in, man. We're still kind of I'm getting everything set up. They got the music playing. The first song was hella quick, man. It is King Lo's freestyle, Dark Fantasy. That was what was playing. So they're listening to that on Track Talk Radio because we're live on YouTube as well as live on Track Talk Radio. They're going to listen to a couple songs first, and then I'm going to intro the show. I did not have a show on Sunday, and the reason for that is because I lost a family member. Someone that I'm not as close with as I was like when I was a little kid. But basically a man who played the role of grandfather in my life, someone who was really close to my mom, helped raise my mother, was a major influence on her life, and a lot of things that I know now as a man is stuff that I learned from him as a young kid. So the reason we didn't have a show on Sunday is because I just was not feeling it. I'm still not really feeling it, but at the same time, I'm here and I wanted to make sure that we were able to do the show because I love doing the show and I feel like this will give me some relief and probably make me feel a little bit better. But I also wanted to make sure that we actually had some video up from this week. I didn't want to go another week without having shows because we did that a couple of weeks ago while I was in the process of making changes, and that type of stuff gets annoying. Want to make sure that we're still putting out content and providing you guys with what you want. And also, I just love doing this. So even though I'm not feeling it, doesn't mean I'm not feeling doing the show. Just kind of in a weird space. So I apologize if it's fucking loud. I'm telling you, it's about to be hot in here. So if you see me start sweating, man, don't make fun of me, bro. This is just a part of it. You have to sweat for your dreams, okay? So, I guess sweating is like, if that's my worst case scenario in this situation, it's not that bad. Maybe I just need to turn the fan off. I'm probably going to get up and turn the fan off here in a little bit because it's getting too fucking loud. Anyway, but like I said, welcome to the Michael Jackson show. I'm trying to, I got to check the time on the radio, man. Make sure we're not bleeding into too many cuts, man, because there's sometimes where they be listening to music for the first 20 minutes of the show, and I know that that's not what the people signed up for. So we have a live show, and I think it's we tonight. I think Priscilla might be joining us. I mean, I don't know. I know she's been busy running errands because she got a new dog, and so they're like, it's a process, man. It's crazy because I haven't had a dog since I was a kid. And so I don't realize the amount of effort that goes into getting a brand new dog and what you have to do to prep and prepare. And then certain dogs require certain things, and then you got to get it within a certain amount of time. It just seems chaotic. And then you're probably wondering how I'm saying that seems chaotic, but I'm also somebody that's screaming that I want children. I know it's probably crazy as hell. I sound crazy as hell, but either way, I know that's what she's doing, something dog related. So she may join in, but she may not tonight. No big deal. Priscilla, she calls in whenever she can, but we do look forward to hearing her. And I was talking to my man James the other day because James gave me a fresh cut. So shout out to James. And then James was telling me about some crazy conspiracies. And so I look forward to having them both on in the near future so we can argue some conspiracies. Maybe not even argue because I feel like they'll probably be on the same page. But we're going to get into some of this stuff because James was telling me a whole bunch of stuff yesterday that I walked away feeling like my head was going to explode. Some of the shit that he was telling me that people are trying to unearth is crazy. And I feel like I want to go back to living in a world where I didn't know that this potentially was real. And so And at the same time, even then, if you've seen any movie ever, you low key can see the signs. You just have to know how to look for them. And now that I have been kind of shown like the light on some of these situations, I almost kind of hate it, because now when this stuff that we deal with in everyday life pops up, now I'm gonna be looking to see like, yo, are these people doing this because they're on that weirdo stuff? So the shit is crazy, but like I said, it might be we tonight, or it might just be me tonight. We'll either have Priscilla on, or maybe we might even get James to call in. We'll see. But I know everybody is, doing the home life, family stuff, and keeping busy. So shout out to everybody that joins on the show week to week. Thank you for everybody that's listening, everybody that's going to watch this stuff. Be sure to like and subscribe. Make sure that you follow the show. You're looking for updates. If you're just wanting to see my beautiful face, make sure you follow this channel, man. This is about to be a very hot channel. So get on early. Also, don't forget, I'm stiff. We can get up to 200 subscribers. The minute that it hits 200, I'm giving away $300. I'm also having merchandise made. And I won't have any of the merch. The second place person will get a hoodie. The third place person will get a hat. Both of these items will have the show's logo and other things on it. And all of this stuff will be debuted the day we pick a winner. So you will be the first people ever to get the merchandise. I won't even have it. That's how hot this shit is. You're going to have something that I won't even have. They will be one of a kind, because I'm only going to pay to have one made. Maybe two, just in case one don't turn out great. Then, I have a backup. So you'll get the first one that we actually plan to give, and we'll do a live video of me burning the other one. So there actually is only one copy of said item. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel, follow all my social media, stay tuned for any updates, and share with all your friends. I mean, I'm literally trying to give you 300 of my own dollars, like just out of my pocket. Like, it's not a sponsorship thing. It's not none of that. I'm going to give you $300 just because I'm feeling generous, and I want to make sure that when we hit 200 subscribers, that we can do a quick little drawing, and then people can earn some money. It's crazy that people aren't trying to take advantage of this. If you want an opportunity to have my $300, just tell all your friends to fucking subscribe to the channel. It's not that hard. Shit would be pretty cool, man. All right, who's texting me? Let's see. Okay, shout out to Markel. Markel's a fan of the show, saying, don't burn the swag, you'll buy it. Okay, well, it's going to be $10,000. So thanks. Thanks for your donation to the show. Shout out to Markel, fan of the Michael Jackson show. All right, thank you, Markel. Listen, you guys, Markel is also a wonderful photographer. She did the shots that you've probably seen on my Instagram, my Facebook, and other platforms where you see my dusty ass. So if you're needing, straight out of quarantine photos done once, you're off fucking parole and all that shit, you need to hit her up. That way she'll give you a really good deal, maybe, and then you'll get some really great photos, obviously, and then you'll be shining like I was. So book now, because spots are limited. I tried to book my next shoot, and I was told that I had to wait a little bit because there's people ahead of me. So if you're really wanting good photos, make sure you hit up my homie Markel. Markel, what is your info? What is it? Hold on, let me remember it. Actually, I'm just gonna pull it up because I don't want to try to remember and then butcher that shit. Let's see. Let's look her up. Why did this shit just go to Macklemore? I'm just playing. So it's markel.eg.photography. That's her IG thing. Do you say the dots? I don't be knowing how any of this works. But there's some great photos, man. I got a really good deal. So I'm trying to get more deals. I'm sure you can get a really good deal, but you guys need to connect, link up, tell her that I sent you because you're a fan of the show. And then, like I said, you'll be able to get it cracking and you'll look as good as me, maybe one day. But probably not, because a lot of y'all just aren't it. So anyway, yes, you do the period. So markel.eg.photography. Hit her up, get these great photos. All right, let me open up my thing. Let's get to these stories, man. Oh shit! See, here I go. I'm over here fooling with y'all, and I forgot to turn. Oh, we perfect timing. Okay, we got 12 seconds, baby. I ain't fucking up. Don't even worry about it. Let me go ahead and turn up. Give money. All right, man. Hey, listen, if you're listening on Track Talk Radio, welcome to the Michael Jackson Show. It's been a few days since I spoke to y'all. I was talking to the folks that are just listening live on the YouTube. The reason why we did not have a show on Sundays because I had a death in the family. So I've been dealing with that. But we wanted to make sure that I got back with you guys at least on Tuesday, Thursday, so we can kind of close out our week before we start our next week worth of shows. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna really get into the whole deal, but I appreciate everybody that's reached out. I'm grateful. But some of you people, man, listen, I understand that you feel like you're trying to do the right thing. But please don't use this as an opportunity to try to reconnect with me if you and I have not been talking in mad long. I feel like it's appropriate if you listen. I put a post up today about needing some laughs. If you want to send a meme, sure, go ahead, because the account is for the show, it's for the memes. Cool. You want to like some of my stuff? Cool. You want to leave a comment that says, hey, condolences or something? Cool. But some of you people who are using this as an opportunity to try to reconnect with me, unless I engage you, it's a hard pass. I'm straight, bro. I'm cool. It don't have to be it don't have to be like we're trying to like now become best friends again. Obviously, if you're my people, you're my family, you know who you are. It's lit. We're straight always and forever. It's no doubt. But yes, there are definitely some of you that I have met in my time in Seattle that like we really not tight like that no more. And that's okay. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that you're successful in life. But other than that, and I appreciate the condolences, but most likely if we probably not talking, you probably made me feel some type of way, and it probably just isn't either worth talking to you about, or we've already tried to hash it out, and you still not in a good space with me. So we'll just leave it at that. But it's no disrespect. I do appreciate that y'all are reaching out, but like this is not the time to try to like reconcile shit. I'm not thinking about you and whatever you and I had going on. I'm thinking about other stuff. So I appreciate that. But y'all, if you're trying to do that, stay the fuck away from me. Anyway, let's get into this show real quick. We got some. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna start with, I think this is crazy. So we did a story a couple of weeks ago about a guy in Georgia. And again, I'm sorry if it's hella loud in here. If y'all can hear that noise, I had the fucking fan on because I'm not trying to be in here sweating. You know, I'm not trying to do it, okay? I'm not trying to be uncomfortable while we're trying to do the show. That's not fucking happening. So you got a little background noise. That's the freaking fan going. Anyway, don't judge me. It's ghetto. But we did a story a couple weeks ago on a young man who was jogging and apparently got into some situation with these two white guys, a father and a son. And apparently while Buddy was running, they chased him down, and then they got into an altercation, and then they shot him. So they murdered this dude in the middle of the street for I don't know what the reason is. I remember the article before that I had read said that maybe they just had some altercation or whatever, but the guy's just on a run. You can see someone pulling up behind recording video, and the video has surfaced apparently today or maybe last night, whatever. And you see them on tape. Two guys getting out of a truck. One stands in the back of the truck or off to the passenger side, whatever. And he's firing shots while the other guy is firing more shots up close, but they're wrestling. And you can see the guy fighting for his life. And then eventually, like, they kind of break away a little bit. And then you basically see him stumble to his death. So he's able to take a few more steps before he ultimately lays in the street and dies. So one of the biggest problems with this is that the people who, the authorities, wherever this place is located, I want to pull it up so we have all the info, but it's located somewhere in janky ass Georgia. So I guess what happened is that they didn't actually bring the guys up on charges. And it sounded like it was on some shit where, like, because they were white and the people they were dealing with were white, because they were being cooperative, that they were trying to, make this seem like it wasn't a big deal. And I also don't think they had the video at the time. So I think these guys probably tried to play it off like it was self-defense. And then since the person who ends up, getting killed is not here to like tell his side of the story, they probably were like, well, maybe we can't hold you on much, so we're going to let you go. People were not happy about that because it was obvious that they murdered this dude. And so now you're seeing the video where you see them jump off the truck and they kill the guy. So let's see. This is in Glenn County, Georgia. This is crazy. This guy's 25 years old. He's a young guy, too. Ahmaud Arbery. Or Arbery, excuse me. Yeah, man, this is wild. When I seen this video, because I just saw the video maybe about an hour and a half ago, and so this story almost didn't make the show, but I put it on here because we talked about the other day, but it looks like the prosecutors are trying to get the state to bring them up on charges. I'm not sure how you can have a video where dudes murder a dude on tape. Get it on tape. You can see the tape, and why this is not like a let's go arrest them immediately type of situation. Because even if there was an altercation, y'all still were in your truck and you had the opportunity to go the other way. Like, there's no way that you two guys in a truck were scared of a guy on foot. So you don't have to engage him in any type of way whatsoever. So there's no way you could honestly look at this and be like, well, we were in fear for our safety or whatever the case may be. This is two guys who are I don't want to try to overload this with foul language, but these guys are disgusting. They're the lowest form of trash. And I'm saying that because of the fact that they have no sense of how to control their emotions. And then that mixed with the hatred that they have for most likely African Americans caused them to want to end up participating in a situation that leaves a person dead in the middle of the street. This is a situation that neither one of them have to be a part of. Because based on the story we did a couple weeks ago or a week ago, whenever we talked about this, was that I think Buddy was jogging past their house. So if that is the case, that means you left your property, got in your vehicle, you followed him, and you murdered him. You did not have to do this. Now, I'm somebody that I come from an environment that was, kind of built on violence. Used to violence in the home, used to seeing violence in the neighborhood, all of these things. But even in the 30 plus years that I've been on earth, one thing that I have learned is that it's not always worth it to act on these types of emotions. There's nothing that can push me to the point where I will want to follow an attempt to murder. It won't happen to me again. It has happened to me before. I've been in this situation before where I've literally pushed myself to the point where I got in an altercation with a person, and I'm just going to keep it a long story short. Grabbed the weapon, rode out to his house. He wasn't there. Him and I had a conversation on the phone. I could tell that he was in fear of his safety. And then because I started to realize that I was about to fuck my life up, I took my ass fucking home. That's a crazy ass story. And it was really about to go down over some dumb shit. That's the craziest thing. And then you know what? I'm very blessed that the person that I was involved in this incident with, him and I were able to both look at ourselves, look at where we fucked up with one another, have a very long conversation, express some real gratitude and understanding toward one another, and we were able to move forward from it. There was no reason to actually push it to that point, especially because it hinged off something that was so stupid. It's not worth it. So now at this point in my life, learning from that experience, there's nothing that could ever happen that would make me want to leave my home, because in that situation I did. This happened at my house, and I left my house to go pursue him. Dumbest thing I could have ever done in my life. And now you look at these two fucking bozos, and it's like, bro, you literally followed my man down the street and you shot him up. For what? For what? Your whole life is about to be over. All for what? Because you were upset, or you feel like he said something to you, or you hate him because he's black. You don't want black people jogging in your neighborhood, so you want to prove a point. You want to make sure that make sure that they know that they can't come onto your turf and disrespect you. Like, come on, man. Is it worth it? No, it's never worth it. Now at this point in my life, I'll never understand why I did a lot of the things that I did, and why I acted and it felt like I needed to use violence to get my point across. God, what a fucking idiot, right? And I'm talking about myself and these two fucking jokers. Why? What is the point? You look at all the people who are lost on a daily basis, because we got people out here who ain't got no fucking sense and can't understand how to just take a minute and relax and talk to themselves if need be, or talk to other people so they can express to themselves that it's not fucking worth it. There's nothing on earth that the guy could have said that would have been crazy enough for you to want to react like that. These are just two people who just don't have it all together. And I hope they end up having to do life without parole, or maybe they get the death penalty. I don't know, man. I don't know if Georgia's a state that practices that shit, but this is one of those situations where I'm looking at it like, look, y'all left the house, you chased Buddy down while he's on a jog, and you shot him the fuck up, probably over nothing. This is the type of stuff, you know how when they do black people and they want to make examples out of us, so that way the rest of y'all don't do anything. This would be one of those times where you actually prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. Make an example out of them. So that way, these white people won't continue to do cornball shit like this. You cannot have citizens in your state just deciding that if they see a black person cross paths with them, that if they want to, they can murder him and it's no big fucking deal. So I've seen where people have started a petition to, I guess, either have the judge or somebody, or maybe it's the mayor of the city. Like, they want somebody to have the, get fired or something. And I can't say that I blame them, man. Like, we got it on tape, Buddy getting killed for probably nothing. And you didn't want to bring these people up on charges. That seems crazy, because we know that if this happened to white people, and if it was a black person that would have shot them up like this, the world would be going crazy right now. Talking about he's a criminal, he's a thug. This could have been two brothers or a dad and a son. It wouldn't have mattered. You would have been crucifying these young black men, or these old black men, talking about how terrible of people they are and how they deserve to be dead and go into the jail, and they're going to be called all types of racial slurs and all this and all that. That's what y'all do every single time. But then when white people do it, it's like it's straight. Fuck, man. They really try to make it one less, right? That's probably this white people's motto, one less. Anyway, let me stop, man. I'm not trying to get too like ranty and on the soapbox, but listen, y'all know what I'm saying is real. All I'm doing is speaking the facts. He and his son, these two old ass people, they're not doing the right thing. They're both adults. They should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because that's what y'all do to black people. Even when they're teenagers, y'all do it to black people. So you need to do it to these two fucking losers. It's pretty simple. So that's all I'm finna say about it. Hold on, we got comments. Let's see who's yapping. Oh snap, we got hella text messages. Let's see. Markel will shout out your email after the show. Remind me, please. Let's see. She does have a promotional code for photos. Good looking out, Markel. Okay, you hate people. Yeah, not for the photography thing, but for the video of the guy shooting the guy. So we're sorry. I don't want to misrepresent Markel. My bad. Yeah, Markel, I do agree they belong in prison for sure. Oh no, so Markel's saying that the reason they called 911, and I guess it's in quotes, it said he's a black man running down our road, and they followed him and so they George Zimmerman this dude basically, or like they freaking did what he did, where they just take matters into their own hands, follow a nigga down the street and kill him for no reason. Shit, man, this is so crazy. Look, I know that sometimes watching my show, I go into the white versus black thing, and maybe it seems like it's a little much for some of you. But do you understand why every week this is going to be here and why I'm never going to stop talking about it? Listen to the shit that I'm telling you. They literally called the cops on him because he was running down their road. They followed him in a vehicle and they pulled out guns and they murdered him. This is just two fucking loser ass white people killing a guy because he's black, running down their street. You see why this is a big fucking deal? And it ain't like I'm telling you this stuff without having experienced this same shit myself. This type of stuff has happened to me. And I'm lucky that I have not been killed. Shit, like last weekend, I was going to go on a walk and I was going with somebody and I literally was in a conversation with them talking about, dang, should I leave my wallet at home? Because I was afraid that if I didn't have it, there's a chance that something could happen to me. One of those things happening could be potentially murder. That's something that we got to fucking worry about. If you wonder why Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee, it's because of shit like this. And I know white people would think, that nigga's crazy. Why is he doing that? He ruined football for us. He's disrespecting our troops. No, you fucking dummies. He's trying to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen or doesn't go without consequence. So if you're one of those people that was so proud of your brethren who went to the Capitol over the last couple of weeks and protested that they couldn't go get their freaking haircuts and shit like that, you're a garbage person. This is the type of stuff that you should be protesting. You should be protesting the fact that there are some people who are taking it upon themselves to kill people just for running down the streets. We don't live in a country that's like that. People can't do that type of shit. I got to get it together, man. And when I say y'all, I mean white folks. Because y'all allow this shit to happen by not putting that shit in check. I'm just giving you facts. So let me stop with the ranting. The back of my knees are starting to sweat. Let's see. Yeah. Again, shout out to Markel, fan of the show's listening in. She's telling me that I guess they're in regards to this young black man who ended up losing his life in this unfortunate incident. I guess they're bringing up some things about him from his past and him potentially having some little menial charge or something like that. So now they're trying to adjust that narrative and make it seem like he's a complete garbage human. No, he's a victim. He unfortunately crossed paths with two people who don't have their fucking heads on straight. And unfortunately, he lost his life. And hopefully we will get justice for him. And these two people will pay the price dearly. And hopefully they pay it back with their own lives. All right. I want to get into something that I thought was very interesting. So I saw a funny ass video today. And it's one of those posts that people put out where it has like a bunch of things attached to it, and it was just funny stuff to me, comedy. And it's about Tyra Banks and some clips that have resurfaced of her on America's, America's Next Top Model. I guess this was a show that she had. And I guess people are trying to come for her and trying to cancel her because I guess there was a model on here, and then she had the Michael Strahan, whereas the gap between the teeth. I'm sorry I did that. The Michael Strahan, the gap between the teeth. So she had that, and I guess people are like kind of upset about that, and they're coming for her. But what I thought was funny is that there was something on here where someone referenced, okay, here it is. So someone referenced on her show that they had an episode, and I'm going to read what this person tweeted. They said, does anybody remember that episode of ANTM where the one girl found out her friend died, and the next day Tyra made her do a photo shoot in a grave for motivation? And then someone, I feel terrible. I'm not laughing at that situation, but I'm laughing at how crazy television is that they would have some shit set up like that, where you would record real people's emotions. And there's a tweet under that says they planned the photo shoots ahead of time, but it was still a horrible coincidence. Now, I'm sure they do plan them ahead of time, but you gotta know that some of the editing, they purposely set it up to make Tyra maybe look like a monster. I'm willing to bet. I've never seen the show, but I can't imagine there's actually a human being on Earth that would be like, yo, I heard your cousin just died. That sucks. But listen, today at the shoot, we got you in the whole grave. And I'm going to need you to have, all the whole makeup, the whole shebang bang. So go ahead, and you got about 5 minutes to get ready. No one's doing that. That sounds terrible. Could you imagine you being the model in that instance? Is it worth it to stay on a TV show if someone was going to make you feel like that? No one's doing that shit, man. No one is that desperate to make it that they would allow themselves to be treated like that with cameras rolling. There's no way that happened. But when I saw this tweet, I have to admit, I was dying laughing. So it got me thinking that now I'm lobbying for Netflix to put this show in its entirety up on their streaming service so I can watch this shit. I'm going to do everything I can not to laugh when that grave part happens. But if that really happened on reality TV show, I hope that you understand that it just shows kind of how shitty we are as humans, that we are willing to exploit people in and their lives and even make fun of them when they're suffering tragic loss just to get ratings. God, how shitty are we? I love it. Let's see. We need to, I'm not reading a comment, I'm making a statement. We need to find a way to get Netflix to put it back up on the streaming service. So I want to see this shit. I've never watched America's Next Top Model. That doesn't even look like a show I would want to be into. But the fact that she had no chill at all and was really going at people because they had gaps in their teeth and made a girl do a photo shoot in a grave after her cousin died, that's crazy, bro. I got to check that out. Always trying to get these laughs. All right. Anyway, so the next thing obviously is not something that's going to make us laugh. It's actually something that was very horrible. I'm disgusted that I feel like that we're even having to do this story. So this is crazy to me because I understand we are in a time of panic. Things are hard. People are stressed. I get it. This is not the time where we need to have people going crazy because they're being asked to follow a couple of rules here and there, especially if you're going out to convenience stores to go shopping, if you're going to like the Safeway or, Walmart, Fred Meyer, wherever, if it's going to the Dollar Tree, or in this case, the Family, Family Dollar, or whatever this shit's called, we got a situation where a security guard ends up being shot in the head in front of the damn store after, I guess, he told this lady that in order for her to come in, she had to wear a mask. So this is governor's executive order related to COVID-19 pandemic for safety of store employees and customers. And it said that they were basically enforcing that all customers were to wear a face mask while inside the store. I guess this girl who was 45 years old named Charmel, or hold up. Yeah, Charmel Teague and her husband Larry Teague and son Ramonia Bishop, they all have been charged with first-degree premeditated murder, and they shot this guy, Calvin James Munnerlyn. So basically what happened is they just shot him after Buddy gave her a hard time about not being able to go in the store because she didn't have a mask on. And so, fuck, man. He took a bullet to the head, and basically it said like I guess they had argued, and then Charmel left the scene, but then returned with the husband and the son. And then the incident escalated. Larry confronted the guard for disrespecting his wife, and that's when then the son pulled the gun out and shot Buddy in the head. So you got three dummies. These three stupid y'all are really about to do time, all because your mother was asked to wear a mask to go into the store. But if you've been paying attention to any of the news or any of the updates on social media, it's pretty much telling you that most places, depending on where you live, are asking you to do that. Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem that you would allow to spill over to where you would want to go home, retrieve your husband and son, bring them back to the location, and then y'all escalate a problem to the point where it ends up where your son, who's 23 years old, your now 23-year-old son, has now shot this guy in the head, a guy who's being shot for basically just doing his job, literally just doing his job. Maybe he argues, maybe his tone is too stern, blah, blah, blah. Those are things that you probably can fix. But damn, being murdered at your job for doing your job, that's insane. 3 people, more than 3 people lives ruined. These 3 dummies, their lives are ruined. But then also, you got to think, man, my man Calvin probably had a family. He's got friends, people that love him, all this shit. Now they never get to speak to my man again, all because some dummy didn't want to wear a mask just to go shopping. And it ain't like you shopping at Gucci or nothing like that. Not to demean the place, but shit, man. Like, you mad because someone's telling you to wear a mask to go into the Family Dollar store? Get the fuck out of here. Like, think about that shit. You're throwing your life away over the Family Dollar store. It's not worth it. People are so dumb. They killed them for no reason. You really went home, got your husband and your son so y'all could go up there and then run the fade on Buddy for just doing his job. That's crazy. So shout out to all the essential workers out here, because they're really putting their lives on the line. Because you have people out here acting stupid all because they're being told no. Like, damn, it's okay to be told no every now and again. Next time, wear a fucking mask. And you know what you should do? Bring your mask with you and don't wear it as you walk in. If someone says, hey, do you mind putting on your mask? It's the rules. You just pull it out of your back pocket and go, hey, no problem. And put the fucking mask on. It's not that hard. Be prepared. And then you won't end up being mad when you show up and they tell you can't come in if you don't have a mask on, because you'll still be able to walk in. This shit is not that fucking hard. These things ain't big and bulky. They can literally fit in your pocket. Like, come on, use your fucking head. Damn dummies, I tell you. All right, man, let's get into something else that's crazy. I don't know why I have this on here. I just thought it was crazy. It's more crazy about the fact that this is a person who probably is rich beyond their wildest dreams, but yet they opted to do the right thing. We have the Amazon vice president. I guess Buddy quit today or yesterday or the other day, someday. He quit recently, just out of the blue. Oh, excuse me. And he basically quit because he didn't like the fact that they fired people who decided to, I guess they were trying to get like a walkout organized or some shit. And I guess this happened earlier in the year because I guess they felt like Amazon wasn't making, their work environment safe, and they wanted hazard pay and some other things along those lines. And I guess these two people ended up getting fired because they tried to stage like a walkout. And so the vice president essentially is coming out saying that he quit because he didn't like the fact that they were being silenced for speaking up on behalf of themselves for their own rights and stuff that they should be able to get if they're being asked to work in what they deem as unfair conditions. So he didn't like the culture around there. He felt like it was toxic. These are just some of the words that I saw that were used. It's interesting because I've known a lot of people who have worked for Amazon, and they've all told me that. And they say that people are really overworked and they get burnt out quickly. Like, yeah, money is good. Getting stock in a company is good. I'm sure all that stuff is great, but shit, you have to wonder, is it really worth it if this is the type of environment that they have you working in, where people are being fired for speaking up for themselves and demanding that they just be respected as employees? Like, that does not sound like a place that I would ever want to work at. But some people like the money. They like the comfort. I mean, shit, they're literally just... I know people who are just working from home and they love it and they don't have these types of complaints. So maybe it's not everywhere, but this is definitely bad enough to where you have somebody who's in a high position of authority who's just opting to walk away because he'd rather do that than continue to deal with their BS culture and structure and whatever type of policies they're trying to enforce on their employees. So I guess this is kind of a shout out to him. Yo, man, shout out to you for taking a stand, baby. Yeah, okay, doing the right thing. I mean, those other people are still fired. That didn't really save them, and now you ain't got no job neither. But hopefully you have money stacked up, which I'm sure you did. You'll probably get a job in another crazy big company, and people are gonna love you for taking a stand, wanting to do the right thing. So shout out to you, man. All right, let's see what else we got. I'm gonna take a short break, but we got some stories coming up about. We're gonna obviously, we can't do a show without some coronavirus updates. And then I saw an interesting little video today with Rosie O'Donnell, and she had some interesting comments on like a show she was doing about Bill Cosby. And so we're gonna talk about that. And then we're going to talk about New York City cops versus its citizens and why some of their citizens are being treated like royalty and the other ones are just getting their asses whooped. All for, if they're wearing a mask or not, basically over the social distancing thing. So very interesting. And then in regards to social distancing and wearing masks, we will get into the Joker in San Diego who wore his KKK hood to the damn grocery store. And I'm also going to rip the grocery store to shreds because no one, and I read the freaking article where it said that the staff went up to him and asked him to take it off, but they didn't enforce that shit the same way that they enforce these types of things on people of other races. And we've seen videos of that where people try to do this funny ass shit when they go into a store and the security will remove them and it turns into a whole thing, or they'll call the cops, But listen, I don't know, I wasn't there, maybe I'm tripping, but I'm just going to say it. They let him continue to shop and they didn't give him a hard time until after he paid for his shit because he's white and they didn't want to upset him. But if he was anybody else, they would have kicked his ass the fuck out, or they would have gave him a hard time, or the cops would have came and they would have made a freaking scene. And we all know that. So we'll be right back. And when we talk about that, it's going to get a little bit lit. Because honestly, it's fuck that grocery store. Because that was some bullshit. You can't let a person shop in a store where there's all types of people walking around while that person wears a KKK hood. That's ridiculous. You can't do that. So anyway, let's get into this Trigger Trey songs, man. You're listening to the Me and Uncle Jackson Show. We're live on Track Talk Radio Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as live on YouTube Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Do all the stuff, man. It's lit. All right. Well, they have the music playing. We're going to keep just recording on this. I got to keep the thing up, man. Because if not, I'll miss the fucking time and they'll be listening to music for the next hour and a half. And then the show will just be over. Yeah, man, that's just crazy. Buddy really had the KKK hood on. Like, just at the freaking store. And it sounded like from the article, they didn't really try very hard to, like, get him to take it off. Now, I feel like if it were me, because of how long that thing is, like the hood itself, pause. The hood, okay, pause. When I saw the video and the picture, I was kind of feeling like, if it were me, I would have ran up, I would have pulled it off his head. And not because I'm trying to, like, start some bullshit, but I would be like, nah, bro. Don't show us your fucking face. If you are brave enough to wear this bullshit, show us your fucking face, man. Don't be a punk. Man up about your shit. Only suckers hide behind masks. Y'all got it twisted because Hollywood leads you to believe that mostly superheroes wear them shit. But a lot of you sucker-ass people are the ones who were doing that. And you hide behind that shit because you're not man enough to actually show your faces. Because you see what the fallout ends up being behind it. You end up losing your job. And then all of a sudden you can't pay your bills. And life gets hard. And then it's not so funny anymore, is it? So that's probably what I would have been hoping for, is that someone was going to run up behind him and pull the mask off of his head. And like I said, if it were me, I'd be like, bro, show your face. If you're going to do some bullshit like this, man up and show your damn face. Don't be a sucker. I think that shit's only fair. One thing I'll tell you I'm tired of is all these suckers, especially when they're doing this type of bullshit. So if you were out and about at any type of store and you see somebody wearing a KKK hood while they're doing their shopping, that is not the mask that they should be wearing. You need to take that shit off their damn head. Don't start no bullshit. There don't need to be no violence. Take it off their head, throw the shit on the ground, step on it, and say, look, if you're man enough to wear this, you need to be man enough to show your face. Just wear a shirt that says I'm racist. Don't wear this white hood on your head. Don't do no bullshit like that. We're not about that over here. They need to show their damn faces. Stop being bitches. All right, so I'm trying to track down if America's Next Top Models on any of these streaming services. Because if we do that, I'm about to start binge watching that. So what I did get back into was I started watching Punisher again. And I forgot how violent that is. I was kind of surprised because I remember watching it one time through, but kind of halfway just tuning in, not really focusing. And then when I started watching it this go around, I was like, yo, damn, Buddy's really like putting in work. Like, and they're really like killing, and heads are getting, cracked open and necks are getting snapped. And like, I was kind of shocked because Netflix, they really did it kind of violent. But then I was thinking back because it's been a minute since I watched these shows, but Daredevil was kind of like that too. The Jessica Jones one was kind of like that too. I never did finish the, what was the one that was real garbage? The one with the Justin Timberlake looking dude. Buddy friend. He looked like an NSYNC backup dancer. Iron Fist. I never did finish that. That shit was kind of weak to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't like that. Luke Cage was cool, but I never finished that second season. And I have a habit of doing that. I'll start up a show and then I'll end up not finishing it. I'm lucky that the show I'm currently kind of watching, I did finish once or twice. Because I already just went back. I was watching Dexter for mad long. And so I'm trying to finish that out. But I'm trying to just, I got to stay strong, man. Because half the time when I'm watching, I'll be falling asleep and shit. It's a good show, but like, I don't know, man. After like the third, fourth season, like you kind of start fading because like he's not really killing like that, and you're maybe not as interested because it felt like every episode there was a different kill, and then after a while it just become about him and fucking dealing with Rita's sorry ass, and I don't like Rita. If you ever watch the show with me, you know that I do not like Rita. I think Rita's garbage. I can say this because this shit is not real. It was TV, but I was glad when Rita got killed. God, that sounds horrible. You know what? But I stand by that shit because it's not real. I didn't like her character on the show. Her character annoyed me enough to the point where because as an outsider perspective, I'm not trying to deal with that. And so, when Buddy took her out, I was like, you know what? We're not really losing nothing because Deb whines and complains enough for the both of them. So I feel like there could only be one whiny ass character on the show. They didn't need to have Rita. So when they got rid of Rita, it was straight. Like I said, that sounds terrible, but let's see. Don't get me wrong. Dexter is a lit show because there's still some really good story and there's some good things that happen. My favorite season is actually the one with Tom Hanks' kid. And it ended up being my favorite when you found out how the shit ended up playing out. And I was like a little bit like kind of mind blown about some of the stuff because I was like, wait, what? And I loved it because of how confusing it was. But then when you were able to piece it together, it was pretty lit. And so that's late in the show. But, I don't know. There's some of it is like a little bit like, up in the air, but most of it is pretty good. So if you get a chance, you should watch Dexter. That shit was on Showtime for mad long. And now it's been on Netflix for mad long. That's where I've watched it all the times that I have watched it. Like I said, I'm back on Punisher, Parks and Rec, Office. I watched this movie. Well, I've watched it before, but if you get a chance, check out this movie called After Party. That was stupid funny. Evolution of Hip Hop. I'm always talking about that one because that's a good one. Weeds is a classic show. They got hella movies. There's a lot of content. If you're on Hulu, you need to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's a lit show. There's hella documentaries on there. Snapped is always lit. Y'all know I'm always fucking with Snap. But I haven't watched Snapped in mad long. I might be watching that tonight. That's going to be real crazy. All right, we got a minute and a half, and then we're going to jump back into this shizzo. For shizzo, my nizzo. DJ Cole Cuts in the house. We got some Trigger Trey playing. They might hear some Bun B later. And then I might have some City High playing. Matter of fact, let me put that at the top of the queue. Ooh. Okay, what else we got? We got some E40. Put that at the top of the queue, baby. Listen, man, if y'all have some music requests, let me know. I'll see if I'm able to put it on the station. Sometimes it don't be letting me put all the music that I have. So a lot of the new stuff that's out now, I can't really play it on the thing because the platform don't support it. But I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Sherry. Sherry is the CEO of Track Talk Radio. Sherry, what's up? We need to have you on the show soon. Phil, if you're listening, you can feel free to call in. Come say what's up. Let's check in. If you got some Track Talk Radio updates or any info on like some, virtual concerts or anything that you may be putting on, let the people know. Let's see. We got about 15 seconds, man. We're going to jump back into this, and then we're going to slide into the second hour of our show. We're going to slide into the second hour of the show. Always wanted to do that. My mom will be so proud. All right, man. What's crack-a-lacking? Welcome back in to the Minkle Jackson show. See, I'm working on some of these intros, man. That one wasn't that bad. I feel like it was pretty good. So anyway, earlier I was talking about some nonsense, like, as usual. And let's see. We covered some Tyra Banks stuff. We talked about RIP to the fallen, the security guard that got shot over some nonsense. That was crazy. And we talked about the Amazon vice president basically quitting because he feels like Amazon's not allowing their employees to speak freely about their, their work environment and express their opinions without being silent. So he's not on board with that. So he quit. And then we're about to get into, this is some crazy shit. So I think on the last show, I talked to you about, or maybe it was 2 shows ago, I talked to you about a video that Steph has sent. Shout out to Steph. Steph has sent this video where it was basically this girl who was speaking on behalf of her friend who is a nurse who traveled to lend a helping hand and lend her assistance to, help fight COVID-19. And she went out to New York to be, do nurse type of stuff. And apparently this girl was speaking on her behalf, basically saying the conditions are terrible and that New York City hospitals are allowing patients to die, blase, whatever. When Priscilla and I talked about the video, both of us were kind of like, well, I don't know, maybe it seems real, maybe it's true, but like there's also parts of the video where you kind of think maybe this girl's just trying to get some clout. I don't know. But then today, I'm looking at articles, obviously, and just looking for stuff that we can talk about and, get on the agenda for the show. And I see this video where it says, nurse admits that New York City hospitals are killing patients. Now, I'm hoping that this does not become a trend. I'm hoping that the things that they have been saying over the last couple of weeks are not real. I'm not going to spend a lot of time diving into this because we talked about this on the show previously. And a lot of times, YouTube is trying to ban people if they're watching people spread fake gossip about COVID-19. We don't know if this is real, but I'm going to say if you start seeing videos of nurses actually getting on saying that New York City hospitals are killing the patients, before you do anything, make sure you verify if it's real or not. The one that I saw today was definitely real. That shit is fucking heartbreaking. I hope that this is maybe just an accident and maybe has just been misinterpreted. But if they're literally letting people die, that's horrible. But I don't know. Based on the things that I believe, I'm not surprised. How do you keep the numbers down if you don't kind of look the other way while some of these people are fading, and maybe you don't get to them in time, and then once they're gone, like there's not a lot that you can do for them, and then you just move on from them. And the shitty part is that a lot of these people are dying in rooms by themselves and they're not with their family members. And like, it sucks because that kind of potentially means that we have people who are deciding the fate of others by maybe opting not to help when you could help. And like, if what they said was true, that they have nurses waiting in hotels, waiting to be called, and that, they're saying that some of these people are dying because they're understaffed, but they're just keeping people like on a retainer. Like if that type of stuff is true, man, like that's horrible because like you could have people to go save these people. And I know sometimes like beds and space and other things like that, those other variables, they come into play, and that shit is major for sure. But like, God, if it turns out that they're basically telling people just don't act like you don't see them, or just tell them to go sit over in this area, and then maybe we just forget to check on them for 2 or 3 hours, and then like maybe check back when you can tell on the security cameras that they've already faded and died. That way, if you walk up on them, they don't wake up and realize that maybe you're there to help and then start demanding your help. Like you hope that they're not doing no shit like that. Like that's crazy because these are people, I don't know. It's hard because like not being there, I'm just a person who has a show who's commenting on a video that I saw. But if that shit is true, it's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah. Shout out to Markel still listening to the show. Hey, we got a lot of fans of the show. I was just reading what she is texting. She says, it depends on who's dying. It's basic triage. That's what all this shutdown is about, to have space for people so they have capacity to treat people. If it's young, healthy people dying, that's when it's a problem. Yeah, no, I get that. But it's still one of those things where like some of these people are older and like they have kids, and like those kids have kids, and so some of these people are being kept from their grandkids, and like yes, I get it. I totally get it, but I don't know. It just seems kind of shitty. That's all. Not kind of. It is shitty, but I get it. All right. So our next wild ass story, like I was telling you, I'm scrolling through videos this morning and I see something where it's Rosie O'Donnell, and she is, you guys know her, she's hella famous. She's pretty funny back in the day. I think she has some shows. I'm not really going to run her resume, but she says that. So this is the weird thing. This article that I'm seeing, it says that the View host, Rosie O'Donnell, says she too has witnessed Bill Cosby's sexual harassment. But I felt like when I listened to the video that she basically was just telling us her account of a story that she was told. And then she was saying that every time she inquired about it, people would kind of either brush it under the rug or they would kind of start like an issue over it, and they just would like let it go. They wouldn't say anything. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I believe that it happened. But what I'm saying is I thought it was weird that on this little article they're saying that she too has witnessed it, but she kind of frames it as if like she didn't actually see it happen. She just heard that this shit happened. So she talks about how when they appeared on some show, or she's appearing on a show called Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and she's sharing her personal experiences with Cosby's predatory ways. That's what this shit says. So she claimed the former comedian sexually harassed a producer when she had her own show. And so when she was on the Rosie O'Donnell show, she basically said that they used to have guests, but they were like surprise guests. But she would always force them to tell her because she doesn't do well with surprises. So she said that she could fake the surprise better if she knew who like it was than like if they did come out and she didn't. She didn't think it would ever be genuine. So, she did that to like, maintain the integrity of the show, whatever. So she knew Cosby was coming on, and then I guess it says she said that she was unable to discuss this attack, which happened when Cosby visited the show between 1996 and 2002 when she was on The View, because I guess that's the show that she was a part of. Cosby has since been found guilty of 3 counts of felony, aggravated, indecent assault, and sentenced to what may be the rest of his life in prison. So when she goes into it, she talks about when they would assign a mystery guest. I guess the producer was like a very tall woman. She said she was about 6 foot tall, and in quotations, a very great producer. And I guess she was assigned to like be the person who managed him as a mystery guest. She revealed that she always knew who the mystery guest was, but that she wanted to fake a more lively reaction. This meant the producer would need to prep the guests more before they came out. So in the green room, the producer goes in and she's talking, saying to Bill Cosby, she's not going to know that it's you. He said, all she has to do is put her hand right here, O'Donnell said. And again, she does a motion where he's putting his hand near his crotch. God, why are niggas so fucking dirtbaggy? Like, why do you have to do that? Like, you're in the middle of a conversation and you had like something within you tells you that you have to say that. And then I guess he said, and tell her to put her hand right here. She'll know it's me. Like referencing his dick. God. What's crazy? I'm only laughing in this moment because there's people that are like, nah, they just trying to do him wrong, bro. And I'm sure some of it is that. But like, if he was making these comments out loud, like, bro, you really think people are going to let that type of shit slide? So she goes on to say that she was one of those people who knew he was guilty from a long time ago and was not surprised by all of this. So my thing is, if you knew he was guilty, why didn't you ever say anything? As somebody who was like on the outside, looking in. Because I'm sure she was not one of the people who was like one of his victims, I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe she was. I don't know her story like that. But if you knew that he was like this type of dude, why wouldn't you say anything? And it's also weird. Like I said, again, it's weird to me. It's so weird to me that like... It's weird to me that people will literally be in the middle of a conversation and a thought like that will come into their head and they'll say it. Like, just because the girl goes, hey, you know, when you go on the stage, she's not going to know that it's you. Even if you're thinking, tell her to put her hand here, she'll know it's me. Even if you're thinking that, guys, you don't say that to women, okay? There's a thing called crossing the line. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if you and this woman have that type of rapport where, like, you can, you know, have that type of banter and you guys can crack those type of jokes, you know, if like that was the case, you do that to her and that's in y'all's space, y'all have that understanding, it's totally fine. But while you're at work, while you're on a job, about to do an interview, I mean, in any way, just, you don't do that. Just don't do it. It's better if you don't do it. All you have to say is, all right, sounds good. Thanks. And then go out and do your show. You don't have to reference your dick every 5 seconds. That's not necessary. I assure you, some of you would probably get along in life a little bit easier if you didn't do that so much. That's free game. Sorry, reading messages. Anyway, I'm interested to see what happens from this situation because this is also weird. I don't know if this story has been told before, but like Bill Cosby's been in jail. I don't know if the whole situation has been resolved per se, but I feel like now it's been done to him what can be done. Like, he's in jail. So it's weird to me that like she's just now telling this story like today or yesterday, whenever this came out. Like, I don't know. What's her motivation? But it's probably money like everything else. I'm not sure what someone is texting me right now, but anyway, sorry, I have a very puzzled look on my face. I'm not sure what someone's talking about. There's a delay on the show, so it's like stuff that I talked about a minute ago, but I've probably already forgotten that. Anyway, let's move on. So, the city of New York, people are complaining to Mayor Blasio, whatever this goof's name is, because his police force has been seen and caught on tape being very friendly to the whites, and even been seen handing some people in parks, handing them masks while they're not practicing social distancing. They've been out handing masks, doing whatever. But then there have also been videos of them kicking the shit out of people of color on the side of the street because they didn't have masks. So I'm not sure why that is happening and why I haven't already seen some post pop up where, you know, the mayor's come out and demanded that, you know, they not be out here doing this. I think it's one of those things, man, like, you must not give a shit. This is not the time for this type of stuff to be happening. When you know that people are documenting this and like the world is talking and it's also connected to this pandemic, you got to get out in front of this the same way you've been getting out in front of everything else. So the fact that we haven't really seen anything where they're addressing that, it's kind of showing me that like there are some things that, yes, like you care about your people and you want everybody to stay home to save lives, but like you're fully okay with your cops beating the shit out of people for not wearing masks who are people of color, but then like treating the, you know, white people like, it's okay. Like, you guys are okay. It's not a big deal. And like, it's being documented, both sides of it. So like, you kind of look like some goose, man. Shouldn't be doing that. We gotta get control of that. I think like they should do better. So hopefully some of these people will start to do better. This whole show is about people not doing right. And we're hoping that after this airs that maybe this will prompt them to want to do better. Just do better. It's not that hard. And so when we talk about somebody who needs to do better, we have to bring up the guy in San Diego who decided that he would wear a KKK hood to the grocery store. Signs all say he has to wear a mask. He figured, why not wear the most stylish mask that white people can put on? You know, for that's there. He's probably doing it for his culture. And so he wears this to the shop. Now, I said before we went to break that I was planning to rip the grocery store. And the main reason being is because in the article that I read today, basically, it said that when he came in, obviously he had it on, he began to shop, people complained, and I guess somebody maybe kind of went and said something to him, but didn't really didn't make it clear that this was inappropriate, at least not to the point where he cared. He continued to shop, and continued to shop. No big deal. He has that right as an American. Hey, man, we want you to be able to feed your family and have groceries. But at the same time, I feel like obviously what you're doing is very over the top. You're obviously taking a stance and you're making it clear to all the other people that walk amongst you how you feel about specific types of people. This is very ridiculous. So, again, why I'm ripping the grocery store. I guess they waited until he checks out and pays for all his items before they actually really say anything to him. So like now he's already on his way out. So of course you're asking him to leave now. He's leaving. So it doesn't do anything now. I'm very upset with this establishment because I know and I've seen on videotape. I will always and forever on this show continue to highlight the differences and disparities between white people and black people. I feel like it is important because you guys need to understand why Colin was kneeling, why we have people that protest, why Black Lives Matter. It's very important because when you've seen this type of behavior in other places before, when it happens to be black people who are maybe not doing the right thing while they're out in public, and maybe making white people feel uncomfortable, the first thing that they do is they call the cops. In this situation, no cops arrived. And even if they were called, they didn't arrive fast enough to prevent him from doing his shopping. So when they get called on black people, they're able to arrive in 5 minutes or less. But when it's white people, they still get the extra 45 minutes to an hour. That way they can do all their shopping, maybe pay bills, go to the ATM, maybe because white people still use Redbox. Maybe they want to use Redbox. I don't know. Everybody uses fucking Redbox. I fucking don't. But a lot of people do. This guy had enough time to do all of those things. No cops were called on him from all reports that I read. Where I think it's bullshit is that when it's other people, the cops are called immediately when white people feel uncomfortable. The fact that this guy got to wear this hood and no one felt uncomfortable to the point where they called the police to get them to come escort this motherfucker out of there, that is ridiculous. You guys call the cops on black people just for standing places. I could be literally standing outside looking at some goddamn birds and white people will call the cops on me and be like, holy shit, we think this guy's about to freaking terrorize this place. And then I come the cops show up, I get thrown on the fucking ground. I probably get a bullet put in my fucking head. But this guy, let me count his items. In his cart, I can see he's got oil. He's got some fruits and veggies. Looks like some bagged up groceries. This takes some time to pull all this stuff off of any given shelf that you're at. And you know what's even funnier? There's literally someone in the background of this picture laughing. Like, niggas think this shit is funny, bro. This is crazy. So it tells me one or two things. Either the people at the store didn't really care, or maybe they looked at it as, well, only one or two of you was complaining, and that means that the place is predominantly white. So if there's not enough minorities or even white people complaining, they're not going to do anything. Because why ruffle feathers, right? Why ruin this guy's day by inconveniencing him and telling him that he can't shop for his groceries because he decided to wear this ignorant fucking mask to the grocery store? Bro, I mean, this shit is crazy. I'm kind of mad he didn't wear the robe, though. If you're going to wear the fucking hat, wear the robe. Wear the robe, you sucker. But there is one thing that we can maybe say. San Diego authorities are looking to file charges against the shopper who wore the hood while at the grocery store. So, like I said, everything has its consequences. I don't think it's enough. I would prefer to see... I don't know. I want to see him stomped out, but at the same time, I feel like if I'm trying to get to a point in my life where we're not going to let, the violence kick in and take over. Yeah. Okay. Charges. Yes, but actually do something about it. And my thing is this. I'm not even thinking, it doesn't necessarily have to just be jail time. Jail's too fucking easy. I'm thinking some shit like this. How can we inconvenience his life, but still make him live it? The same way that they do to black people. Ruin his credit, make it impossible for him to get a job, but don't put him in jail. Make him actually have to go out here and try to figure out how to make all this shit work while he plays from behind. Do what you do to our people. That's fair, right? That sounds crazy, but I'm dead serious. Suspend his driver's license. Give him give him some charges that some shit where, he had I don't know, convict him of a felony. That way, every time he goes to apply for a job, he has to check that fucking box. And if he doesn't, then he's lying. And they'll be able to see it when they run his record. Give him that shit. That way, whenever he goes to do things, life is a little bit harder. And I guarantee you, the same way that you tell our people, oh, well, I bet that'll make you think twice before you make a mistake like that again, brother. Whenever you say that type of shit to us, now you can say it to your own fucking people. I bet he won't wear that hood again. That's on his own mama. I bet he won't do that shit. Boy, looking like a bozo. That shit is crazy. My man is literally in the whole entire mask. Too scared to actually show his face, bro. You're a sucker for that. This is sucker shit. So, like I said, he need to have his life fucking ruined. See how it feels. Remember what Paul Mooney said on the Chappelle show? He said, everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. I'm telling you. If you treat him the same way you treat us for how he's acting like a dummy, then I guarantee you he won't ever want to see or do some shit like this ever again. Because he's going to know how it feels to be put in a fucking bind and treated like garbage. I'm telling you, don't send him to jail. That's too easy. Like I said, give him that felony. So every time he applies for a job, he has to put it on there. I love that idea. God, maybe I should rewrite all the laws for this country. No, that's crazy. No, just kidding. All right. Tory Lanez possibly about to get arrested because it sounds like he sent, I don't know if he sent, but maybe he nudged a girl to go beat up another girl. I don't know. Yo, shout out to Tory. Tory, I'm going to tell you something. Tory, listen. If you did that shit, that shit's crazy, isn't it? I've done that. I've literally done this situation. I've told this story on air before too. But all I did was I got a very foul-mouthed girl. I got her to just quiet down. Listen, we had told you, you keep saying the things that you were saying, that somebody might, give you that Mike Tyson, and that happened. But Tory Lanez, when I did this, I was just a young punk. I wasn't somebody who was famous and has, a million followers and is making money and doing all these things. So I'm trying to find this story, but I think they might have deleted it. And these stories are so funny to me because, on one post, I'm reading that it sounds like Tory's kind of on top of the world. Like his streams are booming and he's got people living it up, man. They're listening to good music. And then I scroll down a little bit and I see where it sounds like he sent some girl to beat up some other girl, which is just so crazy. And I'm like, bro, what do you need to do that for? My man, you're making money. If they got to fight over you, bro, they're not worth it. You're going to end up getting yourself in trouble. But damn, can you imagine? What if Tory Lanez gets arrested during quarantine because he's having girls get beat up by other girls? Probably for just being too ratchet in the freaking comments on the stream, probably. Oh, my God. Like I said, shout out to Tory Lanez. His latest project was actually super dope. Broken a Minute. That's my cut right now. I probably listened to that about 8 times today. That record slaps. Sort of like Tory Lanez homegirl who went up and slapped up old girl. I don't know who any of these people are, and I'm tired of saying their names on this show because I don't know who they are. I don't know if the people who listen to me know who they are. But apparently these two girls, maybe they're like IG famous models or something, or maybe they're just girls who, you know, get on IG live and show their lady bits. I don't fucking know. I don't be knowing what these people's lives are. But either way, shout out to Tory Lanez. Hope he doesn't go to jail because maybe we might need new music pretty soon. Quarantine might last for another 17 years. And as we sit on quarantine, we look at a lot of cities that start to reopen. And there are a lot of cities who are not reopening, and their mayors are, you know, maybe not as quick to want to reopen, even though Donald Trump is kind of pushing to reopen after kind of saying that he didn't. I don't know, man. He's back and forth every other day. But Detroit has a savior, and that savior's name is Big Gretch. So I know what you're thinking, man. You're probably thinking, what the fuck is Big Gretch? And I'm going to tell you, Big Gretch is lit, man. I don't want to find just the video. I want to find the info about it because so Big Gretch is this song that was made by this guy, and I guess Gretchen is her first name. I guess this is their mayor or something. And let's see. Let me pull up. Let me cue it up. Big Gretch. Woo, 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 woo. Oh my God, it's the first thing on here too. I love it. If you haven't had a chance to go check out this little song, and there's a little video. So Gretchen Whitmer is Detroit's governor or Michigan's governor, whatever, or whoever. She's somebody's governor. And people really fuck with her. She's really riding for the people. And I thought of this morning while I was in the shower. That sounded so weird. I was not thinking about Big Gretch in the shower. I was thinking about the story and how I wanted to talk about the story while I was in the shower. Brainstorm session. Not that other type of session. But anyway, the way I know that Big Gretch is real, people really, really fuck with her, is you have to think about this. You got a brother to make a song about you and throw together a video. Ask for donations, and then he tried to give you the bag. And Gretch is a white lady. They fuck with Big Gretch. So shout out to Governor Whitmer. Apparently her people really love her. She's riding to protect her people at all costs as they go through this pandemic. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. Big Gretch, your city is really, really riding with you. Shout out to you for doing everything you can to hold down the city of Detroit and, you know, the state of Michigan. People are very happy about that. And she denounced the fact that these fucking bozos went to the Capitol, and she called them out for their racism and their hatred and all of that. See, that was actually the reason why people really fuck with her. But I was thinking, listen, you got to know you must be kind of dope when niggas want to make a song about you and then try to give you the bag. Like, that's crazy, because niggas ain't trying to give up money. Especially not the white people. But yeah, shout out to Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan. She's lit. So we wanted to make sure we highlighted her on the Minka Jackson show. If you haven't had a chance, please, please, please go to YouTube. Just type in Big Gretch. It's probably going to be the first thing that comes up. It's hella funny. The rhymes are offbeat, but that shit, it was lit. I'm telling you, I probably listened to it 100 times yesterday. So shout out to them, man. She was crazy. All right, Big Gretch. All right, as we transition into another topic, this is actually kind of sad. And we're kind of going back to, unfortunately, we're going to go back to, hold on. Oh my God, these comments. Yo, stupid funny. But anyway, we go to something that's kind of unfortunate. So obviously we know, although this young man has his issues and problems, He is still a human at the end of the day, and he does not deserve to be treated poorly. So Kodak Black is, unfortunately, he's in prison for some, poor decisions that he has made, and that has landed himself in jail. But either way, like I said, he still deserves to be treated like a human, and he should not be disrespected in the way in which he has been. So I'm going to read a couple of tweets that have been tweeted from his account on his behalf by his team. So it says, we just heard from fellow inmates at Max Penitentiary, Big Sandy, Kentucky, in regards to at Kodak Black's treatment. He couldn't call himself as he is not allowed phone or visitation for 6 months as punishment for the incident in Miami, even though that has been the case since September. They refused to give him credit for that time. Friday night, he was badly beaten while in cuffs by 7 guards at Big Sandy. They struck him in the head repeatedly with a metal object. Then after one of the guards flicked his genitals and said, "You're not so gangster now. You're going to need bigger balls to survive." Sounds like they've notified his counsel, which is then they list a law firm, and he advised that he will be asking for a full investigation. So my thing is this, and I know that prison has been hard as fuck for everybody since the dawn of time. And it's because it's not an ideal place to be. Obviously, the people that go to prison, and some of them are wrongly convicted. We do know that does happen more often than what we think. But a lot of people are in there because they have made very, very, very poor decisions. Regardless of that, I'm still a person who believes that while in the prison, I understand that you got to keep a firm hand and you have to let them know who's boss, and you don't want people getting out of line, or authority has to be maintained at all times. But I still think that you can treat people like humans regardless. You being a guard and flicking an inmate's genitals and then tough talking him, saying how he's going to have bigger balls if he wants to survive in here while he's handcuffed, that's weak shit to me. You're crossing the line at that point, because there's no need to do that. Whatever reason that you had to, use physical tactics against him, like flicking the genitals, that's not in any type of training manual. There's no way you're going to a training and they're like, hey, get with your partner, and all right, you guys are going to take turns flicking each other's nuts and then saying the phrase, "You're going to need bigger balls to survive in here." They're not doing trainings where they use that. That's not a fucking thing. So this is obviously a case where you have these guards who are using their position of power, and they're treating people like this, and especially someone in Kodak's position, where, and I'm not a fan of his. I don't think he's the greatest guy, but at the same time, I think when you hear about this type of treatment, if this shit is true, they're not doing the right thing. They don't have the right people employed in there. You can put men and women in a position of power, in a position to where they can maintain order and restore if need be, but also find people who have a fucking heart, understand compassion, empathy, and all those things, and are not in there treating those guys like shit. Look, it's already hard enough as is in there with those conditions. The last thing that they need is to be getting the same type of treatment from the staff. That shit's not necessary. And there's nothing that you can tell me to where I would ever believe that type of behavior is necessary. Especially because in this case, they're talking about he's being subdued by 7 guards. 7 guards for this one fucking guy. And then you got one guy at the end like, yeah, you're going to have bigger balls to survive in here, guy. Like, trying to be tough. Like, what's the point of that? There is no reason for that. It's not how you treat people, regardless of if they're serving time or whatever the fuck the case may be. You cannot treat people like that. I think that's just pathetic. So I hope things get better for Kodak Black. I'm not sure why he's in prison this time. I heard that he was in there and then he got out. And then when he was out, he was acting like a goof. I've always seen his name in the news because he makes very unsavory comments directed at women, and then especially to other men about their women's. He's he's a young man that has probably not had the proper guidance. It does not excuse his behavior. But there's a part of me that has never been surprised when I've seen video after video after video pop up about him, because this has kind of just been a little bit of his MO. But regardless of all that type of crazy and corny shit that he had been doing, while he is in incarceration, he does not deserve to be treated like that. It just shouldn't happen. So hopefully they get that resolved, and hopefully his legal team is able to do something about it. So I guess if I hear anything more about this, I will continue to keep you posted. And like I said, sending good vibes Kodak's way. Hopefully they're not beating his ass too much in there. All right, what else we got, man? We're gonna take one more short break, and then we got a few more stories to get into. A couple of crazy ones. One where a 5-year-old steals a car and tries to drive from Utah to California. Yeah, a 5-year-old stole a car, tried to drive from Utah to California to buy a Lamborghini. And my young guy only had like $5 on him. But still, there's things about the story. That's not even the craziest part to me. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to tell you why I think this story is unbelievable and what the actual craziest part of it is, in my opinion. So we will return with the Meaningful Jackson Show. We're live on Track Talk Radio as well as YouTube every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, do all the stuff, man. And help me get to 200 subscribers. Once we get to 200, I'm literally going to take out $300 of my own money, and I'm going to hand it to one of you. And if you don't win the $300, that's okay. Because if you're second place, you're going to get a hoodie. And if you're third place, you're going to get a hat. Both of these items will have the logo. When I introduce the Meaningful Jackson logo, it will be on these items. These will be the only 2 items to have it. And you will have these items. I won't even have it yet. You will have it before I have it. So be sure to tell all your friends to like, subscribe, follow, do all the stuff. Because once we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, then the drawing will begin. We will pick our 3 winners. You will get your merch. We will take fan photos, do all the cool stuff, man. It's everything. It's going to be lit. So keep checking in about that. Make sure you follow the show for any live updates. We're almost at 100. So we need about 108 more. And once we get there, then I'm going to give away this money, man. I'm trying to literally give you guys money. Why would you not want to do this? Doesn't make sense. All right, man. We'll be right back. All right. As we coast into the last half hour of the show, man, we've been doing all right, man. It's hot. I'm telling you, bro, it's hot as fucking here. Fuck. Let's see. Update on me. I've been working out. Not a lot, though. I've gone on some walks. I've run a little bit. My knees are still in good shape. I'm just getting prepped and ready for when they open LA Fitness back up. To all my homies that I hoop with that are watching, don't worry. Even though I've packed on a few pounds, when we go back to the court, I'm still going to be putting my foot up y'all's asses, all right? Don't worry. My jumper's going to be ready to go. My handles are still going to be trash. But, the one thing this Last Dance documentary has taught me, or kind of showed me once again, is that I forgot how much of a monster Michael Jordan was on defense. And so I'm bringing that mentality type of back. If I have to blow out my knees locking up, I assure you, my first day back, I'm not getting scored on one time. Not one time. So any of my homies that I hope are watching this, good luck. Because I got y'all clamped up. I'm going to be the defensive MVP in that motherfucker. I'm telling you, it's over. As you can tell, I really need to play basketball so bad. Oh, my God. Anyway, we've been having a good show. It's been a smooth night. I'm really kind of surprised that there hasn't been like a breakdown or anything like that. But I'm holding together quite nice, man. This has been pretty crazy. I'll give you guys some background. This wonderful man that I lost was basically my grandfather, Jesse Aldridge. What a good man. And I'm saying he was good because he basically loved me. Me and him were bros. When I was a young kid, I remember, being younger than the age of 5 and accidentally sipping a beer. That came from him. My love of Texas Longhorn football came from him. My love of muscle cars came from, him and I working on cars together and watching him rebuild vehicles, as well as like anything that I know about the sport of golf all came from him. And, I was fortunate enough as a young kid to meet, a couple of famous golfers and people that he knew and interacted with because he was in some of those circles. And, he just led a very interesting life. And he was somebody who treated my mother really well. My mother's real mother and father, are complete garbage cans. I ought to kick their ass. But, Jesse and his wife, Patricia, they were always great to my mother. They were people who were like family to us. And, when we came, because where I was born in England. And so when we came over from the States, or from overseas, came to the States, when we went to Texas, these were the people that we leaned on to take care of us. And the same thing when my parents split up. So they were always a big part of our lives. Mine, not as much after I moved away from Texas right before high school. And I'm kind of distant from everybody in my family. So it is kind of sad knowing that, like, I don't know. There's things that I won't ever get to say to him again. I won't have that opportunity. So it sucks, being kind of estranged for a long time because, you miss out on those opportunities. But, it's still dope to know that, like, this is somebody that instilled a lot of stuff in me. And I feel like some of what makes me kind of a good dude comes from him. So R.I.P. buddy. He was my guy. Man, this is crazy. It's weird because this is back-to-back years. Both of my grandfathers have died. So like all the like actual consistent male role models that I had in my life that were actually from my family are now both gone. But hey, we're still making it through, Now it's time for me just to, carry on legacy. So we'll make that happen. But shout out to him, man. Let me check the music, man. We got to get back. Damn, another song started. You know what? I'm about to just come on anyway. This is my show. I do what I want. Hey, cut the music off, man. I know I had that shit playing, but I turned it on. If you're listening on Track Talk Radio, thank you for tuning in. We only got a few more topics, and I'm going to let the music play, and then we're going to turn the stream off and close out for the night. But the show has been lit, so thank you for tuning in. We are live Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is the Me Uncle Jackson Show. Always on Track Talk Radio and always live on YouTube. And then you can also catch me live on Twitch from 6 to 7 p.m. on Friday nights for my podcast, Starters on the Bench. It's all your sports, your video games, your music, and books, man. I'm always talking about books on the show. So I'm deep into 3 books right now. Harry Potter series, this book called Truce. And then I'm also reading The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So I'm triple dipping right now. And I like it, man, because I'm trying to fill this up with all kinds of knowledge. This shit is lit. So anyway, let's get back to these topics real quick. That way I can close this out. So I feel like now it wouldn't be a show if we didn't have a quick discussion about Karens. Now that the Karen thing is starting to become more of a thing, now we're seeing more videos. And I love seeing these videos because I don't know, obviously it's these entitled white women who, they're like it's crazy. It's crazy to watch somebody play multiple roles all at once. So they play the role of the victim, the role of the authority combined with the role of the enforcer. And sometimes that's it, but then like other times it's like also the role of like the badass. So what I mean by that is a lot of these videos you see them start to panic, cuss people out, ask for the manager. When the other people involved start to engage them unfavorably or give them attitude, then they become the victim immediately. They're always trying to quote the rules at people, like, and they never know the fucking rules. That's the weird thing too. You have a lot of these white ladies, y'all trick me out. They walk around all day trying to tell people how to live based on some made up fucking rule book that they're always probably referencing when they talk. And they never seem to actually know any of the rules. And so they just look like bozos because you see them on these videos where they're engaging people. You know, they're cussing them out, getting an attitude, telling them to go back to their country, asking for the manager, then threatening to call the cops, then saying that they're the victim and how dare this person disrespect them and da-da-da-da-da. The shit is so funny. So now, obviously, we have to remind you guys again that the Karen thing has turned into now where white ladies are saying that they're being treated almost, if not equal to slaves, I think. And some women seem to think that the word Karen is a slur that is the equivalent of the N-word. I'm so confused. But only in the sense where, like, I'm not surprised, but I'm just confused as to why, like, now you have so many of these people that are doing this shit. It's just a name. Like, there are people named Karen. You know what I'm saying? And this is all just a joke about, you know, a couple of y'all just always wanting to complain to the manager. It's really not that serious. Imagine if your parents named you Richard. And like the other name people use to, like, you know, talk to you is Dick. Think of the jokes that you hear all the time when your name's literally Dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hear those guys talking about, yo, this is the same as being called the N-word, because it's not. And because, you know, I don't know, a lot of people aren't that ridiculous. I love this though. So now, like, when I go out, I'm always hoping that I have an opportunity to call somebody a Karen, just so I can see the look on their face, see if they get upset. Obviously, I'm going to be respectful, and I'm only going to say it if I really feel like the lady's being ridiculous out in public and complaining about things, that are not that serious. Like, you know, why is it taking someone so long to ring up the items or da-da-da-da. You know what people be complaining about. Like, I had a lady get mad because someone was taking too long at the self-checkout. And I'm like, yo, I see her like getting frustrated and like, you know, kind of starting to like cuss the lady out. But it's like, what's the point? And then like the one next to the lady opened up and I just go, hey, you can go to that one. And then she just kind of gave me like a rude ass look and then walked over to it. And I'm like, what were you complaining for? The other one literally opened up. There's multiple of these machines. This shit's not that serious. So like that was a real Karen move on her part. Getting mad about that and like almost wanting to like threaten to call somebody because the other person was scanning too fucking slow. Like, lady, get out of here with that shit. But also, I do get it. If somebody does go in the self-checkout line with like 150 items and they try to use coupons, then we have a problem. That's different. And let's see. Mark, no, I was not talking about you. No, that was you. I remember when we went to the store that one time, you were saying, but it was not you. I literally saw this happen where a lady was really huffing and puffing and saying stuff to this small older lady who was scanning slow as shit. And it's because the lady was like in a hurry. And then the one opened up and I was like, lady, yo, chill. Like, just go to that one. And like I said, she gave me some rude ass look. And then like, yo, I was like, let me not, because this is where you end up on a YouTube video and it would have been me cussing her out and her calling me the N-word and then me saying something about her haircut and then her spitting on me and then me having to like slap her with a bag of cuties or something. I don't want to be a part of no shit like that. So, but yeah, if you're out in public, man, just stop complaining about people. Let people do their thing. Things are hard right now. Life is moving at a slower pace. White ladies, it's not all about you. You are not the end all be all. Some of y'all are just okay. And a lot of y'all really ain't shit. So just chill, okay? Just chill. Anyway, let's see. So before we went to break, I told y'all about my man is 5 years old. Shout out to my man. Apparently, his mom, I guess, let's see. I want to see what this says. So this story was brought to me yesterday, and then I saw it again today, and I was kind of laughing because apparently this young guy really wants a Lamborghini, but his mom refused to buy him one, obviously for good reason. Couple of things. Buddy, you're 5. You don't have a license. Your mom probably can't. I don't want to be in mom's pockets, but it's not likely that mom can afford to just get you a Lamborghini on a whim. That's not how life usually works for most of us, unless you were part of one of these households like the Kardashians, or you're a Cooper or a Musk or a DeGeneres or a degenerate. I don't know. You're one of those people. But apparently, and like I said, I haven't even gotten into the most shocking part of this. My man is 5 years old. And so he lives in Utah. He stole the family vehicle and he was attempting to drive to California so he could go buy a Lamborghini. And so he was only able to drive about 5 minutes away from his home to the highway, but it was after an argument. But some other thing that I was being, when this was being explained to me, said that it wasn't really because of an argument and that he left her in the middle of the day. So he must have just been at home while they were at work. And so I guess like the cop pulled him over because like he had noticed that the car was kind of like swerving and stuff like that. But listen, my man is 5 years old and he was driving at 32 miles an hour on the freeway, bro. Just the simple fact that he was able to get it out of the driveway, leave the house, and onto the freeway. My man is lit. I know it's dangerous, and that's terrible that I clap for that. Shame on you, young boy. That's dope, though. I mean, he literally was driving 32 miles on the freeway. No 5-year-old can say that. Big Hot Wheels and Big Wheels, all that shit don't be going that fast. My man's driving a real full-on car. Cop pulled him over, and then I guess he was asking him what he was doing, and then he was telling him that he was on his way to California to buy a Lamborghini. This is crazy. Yeah. Damn, he only had $3. This is crazy. So shout out to my man for having major dreams and aspirations. Listen, you guys can have anything you want in life. All you have to do is be determined and put in that effort. And my man is 5 years old. He knows what he wants in life. And he was willing to risk his life for that shit, which that's stupid. But, he's 5. He doesn't know any better. He also didn't understand that you need more than $3 to purchase a Lamborghini. And so some of this is just a major life lesson. But other than that, this is insanity. But I shout out to my man for being 5 and was literally able to drive a car on the freeway successfully for a short time at above 30 miles an hour. I'm very impressed by that. And you guys probably are thinking to yourself, Nick is going to be a terrible fucking parent. And yes, I use my real name because when I become a parent, you're going to have to refer to me as my real name. I don't want my kid calling me by my stage name. But anyway, I think this is super dope, man. Let's see. Well, I think we got one more thing. So as we phase out of, kids stealing cars, we go into the baby. So we talked about him on our last show, and I was talking about him on my podcast, so Starters of the Bench. And we were talking about how it's weird to me that people think that he's such a garbage rapper. I think he's actually pretty good. Like in his new album, I only listened to the first few songs because I got caught up doing something else, but it wasn't the worst thing that I've ever heard. So he hasn't been doing too bad, but apparently now there is a report that him and his friends jumped a driver that they had while they were in Las Vegas in November. So the story has it that they were in one of these Mercedes Sprinter vans and they were being driven around places, I'm sure, while they're partying, turning up, whatever. And apparently somebody in his crew tried to light up while they're in the van. The driver said no. And this is all coming from the driver. Apparently the driver says that after he told them they couldn't smoke in the van, that they started to become unruly and be disrespectful and start to threaten them. And then I guess when they got out, the driver was like, okay, it was time to pay up. He apparently approached one of the gentlemen about money. And then he says that, and this is the weird part. So he says that he's talking to someone about the payment. And apparently the baby punched him in the back of the head. Which that's weird, because unless you have a set of eyes in the back of your head, how do you know it was him that punched you? So we're going to continue to monitor this. The baby has definitely come out and said that this was 100% false. But we also have seen him on videotape, throwing hands with a dude at the mall and washing him up. But also, you also saw the videotape where it took mad long and Buddy was in there provoking him for a good little minute. So it's hard for me to imagine that now, this is, before when he washed Buddy up at the mall, he wasn't as famous. It's hard for me to imagine that now he would be ready to throw it all away as he's starting to go elevate himself even higher than what he was this time a year ago. So we're going to keep an eye on this because I'm interested to see what happened. I also am hoping that there might be some videotape, because if we could watch this limo driver getting punched out, obviously I don't want to see that happen to him. But if this is what the story is, I want to see the video. There has to be video because there's literally cameras on every inch of this freaking continent. Come on, somebody's got a tape. So come forward, because if that's the case, then that'll be, this guy's been famous for barely over a year and a half, and we've already seen that will be 3 incidents where he's putting hands on people. So by now, people should understand that he is not to be played with. Either way, music's good. Hopefully he'll have a successful career, and hopefully this is nothing. But hey, I guess we're gonna see. But anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Let me cue up the music, man. We're about to dive into this music, and then the show is going to be over. So if you're listening to Track Talk Radio, I told you I was going to play City High. What would you do? So that's about to come on, and then you might hear the last song. Might be Trey's song, Still Scratching Me Up. If you were tuned in just strictly on the YouTube, thank you for watching. Hope you like my new glasses. Hopefully you enjoy seeing my beautiful face. I'll be back on Thursday, and it's lit, man. I'm signing off. We're going to start the music, and I'm going to let that run. So I'm out of here, Track Talk Radio. Peace. So the music is on, and then this is it. I'm over it. I'm going to see you guys on Thursday, though, man. It was a good show. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow, do all the things. Hit me up under Meemco Jackson for mostly everything. If you want to watch Starters on the Bench, you need to go to Twitch. Track me down under Meemco Jackson ENT, like entertainment. So it's just ENT. Meemco Jackson ENT. Subscribe to my shit. It's cool, man. Pay the $5. Or if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel for free, which is also dope. So check me out this Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Starters on the Bench, the podcast. And last week's episode is actually up on Twitch now. So feel free to go check it out, because I did not put it on YouTube. Only the first episode of Starters on the Bench is on YouTube because it wasn't on Twitch. But now we are officially on that other platform. I found that out as of today. I don't know what the delay was. I think there was something about you have to get to a certain status or something. Maybe I've hit that, or maybe I just wasn't doing the shit right. Either way, we're celebrating. We're on multiple platforms officially. So be sure to check that out, man. Like I said, the Meemco Jackson Show will be back on Thursday, and then again on Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live on Track Talk Radio as well as YouTube. So I'll see you guys on Thursday, man. It's been real. See ya.